So, Caitlin Clark, aka the scheduling conflict. Yeah, the scheduling conflict.
Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise is revolutionizing the WNBA like never before. Teams are abandoning their traditional home courts and upgrading to sprawling NBA arenas to meet the overwhelming demand for her games. Cities such as Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, and Washington are all making swift moves to accommodate the surge in interest. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who once confidently asserted that she was the face of women's basketball, now finds herself watching as Clark takes center stage, with an astonishing 41 nationally televised games. Reese's star power seems to be fading in comparison.
You know, Caitlin Clark is that she's getting new arenas, getting moved to new arenas. You've got people saying that they're pushing the fever. Why are they pushing the fever?
The rivalry everyone anticipated is evolving into something much larger than basketball. The WNBA is undergoing a transformative shift, redefining the very core of the league. 6 teams have taken the bold step of relocating their home games just to host matchups against Caitlin Clark. This isn't merely a scheduling adjustment, it's a total overhaul of the league's operations, all fueled by one player's star power. Clark's impact is compelling franchises to rethink everything from arena selections to marketing strategies. This isn't just excitement, it's a revolution the WNBA has never seen before.
Caitlin Clark is going to spend all of next season playing in NBA arenas. Like, I saw a tweet, and it is the craziest thing, that there are 6 WNBA teams that have moved their games to NBA or NBA size arenas.
To put this into perspective, these teams aren't just upgrading to slightly larger venues, they're making monumental jumps to NBA arenas that can hold 3 to 4 times their usual crowd. The Atlanta Dream is taking a game to State Farm Arena, home of the Hawks. The Chicago Sky is relocating 2 matchups to the United Center, where the Bulls play. Even the reigning champion Las Vegas Aces are shifting to T-Mobile Arena for a showdown with Clark. The scale of this move is staggering, highlighting the immense influence Clark has had before even stepping foot in a single WNBA game.
I don't think that's an NBA arena, but obviously there was ironically actually a scheduling conflict with the 20,000-seater arena in Washington. That was the only actual scheduling conflict. But the Dream move it to an NBA arena, the Aces move it to a much bigger arena, the Mystics move it to a much bigger arena, the Sky do, the Sun do, and the Wings do. He might be saying, oh, what about those other teams? What about those other teams? They all play in NBA arenas.
What makes this even more intriguing is the clear hypocrisy at play. These same teams initially downplayed Clark's impact during the draft, insisting that the WNBA was thriving just fine without her. Yet, their actions now tell a completely different story. The Connecticut Sun's decision is the most revealing. Without an NBA arena nearby, they're moving their Clark matchup all the way to TD Garden in Boston. This isn't just a venue change, it's a shift to an entirely different city and state, all to cash in on her star power. Imagine being so eager to capitalize on one player's presence that you're willing to relocate a home game across state lines. The Dallas Wings and Washington Mystics are making similar moves, proving this isn't just a one-off adjustment, it's the new normal whenever Clark comes to town.
There are 13 WNBA teams, 7 already playing NBA arenas. The other 6 are moving their games to NBA arenas versus the Fever. You can't acknowledge that she is the needle mover. Yeah. No, I'm not even going to say she's the needle mover. She's the needle. She is the needle.
The numbers don't lie, even if teams aren't willing to admit it. Before Caitlin Clark, WNBA games averaged around 6,000 fans. Now, her matchups are selling out 20,000-seat arenas, more than 3 times the usual crowd. Team executives are well aware of the shift. One even admitted they'd rather give up home court advantage than miss out on the revenue Clark generates. Think about that, teams are willingly sacrificing their competitive edge just to capitalize on her presence. Last season, the WNBA saw a 48% increase in average attendance, and a significant portion of that growth can be directly attributed to Clark. But the biggest change is happening on television. Clark hasn't even played a single WNBA game yet, but she has already secured more nationally televised games than any team in league history. An astounding 41 of the Indiana Fever's 44 games will be broadcast on major networks ABC, CBS, ESPN, and ION. Just last year, the Fever barely made it onto national broadcasts. Now, they're a primetime powerhouse. This dramatic shift has sparked tension among WNBA veterans, who expected to be the faces of the league, only to find themselves overshadowed. Clark's influence on viewership is undeniable. When her college games first aired, ratings were struggling. By the end of the season, those broadcasts were consistently breaking the million-viewer mark. Networks took notice, and now they're scrambling to secure her matchups as if it were Black Friday. ABC locked in her games against Chicago, CBS grabbed her showdowns with New York, and ESPN ensured her battles with the defending champion Las Vegas Aces would air nationally. Meanwhile, the rest of the league is facing a visibility crisis. Established stars who've spent years in the WNBA are struggling to get national airtime, creating a massive exposure gap that's fueling resentment. Imagine being a veteran player watching a rookie secure 41 nationally televised games while your team barely gets a mention on SportsCenter. The frustration is real, and players are starting to voice their concerns. The WNBA initially tried to balance the spotlight by promoting multiple stars, but fans made their preference clear: they tuned in for Clark and tuned out the rest. As a result, the league quickly pivoted, putting her at the center of their strategy. Now, the WNBA finds itself in a tricky position. They need Clark's 41 national games to drive growth, but each high-profile broadcast highlights the favoritism, frustrating players who feel left out. The numbers are only expected to get crazier. Industry insiders predict that at least one of Clark's games this season could draw over 3 million viewers, a figure that would rival or even surpass many NBA regular season broadcasts. Let that sink in. A WNBA rookie could outdraw established NBA stars. That's the level of impact Clark is having. And if there's one player feeling this shift more than anyone, it's Angel Reese. Remember when she boldly declared herself the face of women's basketball? That title has now been claimed by Clark, decisively and loudly. The once promising Clark vs. Reese rivalry is fading, as the league, the networks, and the fans have made their choice. The ultimate proof: even Reese's own team, the Chicago Sky, is relocating their home games against Indiana not because of Reese's star power, but because of Clark's. The Sky aren't even the main event in their own city when they face the Fever. They're just the opening act for the Caitlin Clark show. That's got to sting. What makes it even more awkward is how the Sky are handling it. Their social media still pushes Reese as the face of the franchise, but turn on any national broadcast, and the spotlight is firmly on Clark. The narrative that the league initially hyped Clark vs. Reese barely even gets a mention anymore. Networks know exactly who the audience is there to see. To be clear, Reese isn't struggling. She's securing endorsements, building her brand, and keeping her fan base engaged. But when it comes to shifting the financial landscape of the WNBA, that's Clark's domain now. Attendance numbers, TV ratings, and business decisions all tell the same story. And here's where things get even more historic: Clark's impact isn't just about marketing hype. A record-setting 41 nationally televised games in a single season, that's unheard of for any WNBA team.